Welcome back to Whispers from the Wizarding World. Tonight's story takes us away from classrooms and corridors and into a quiet workshop where magic is shaped by hand. This is a place of craft, tradition, and unspoken rules where every wand has a history and every choice leaves a mark. As you listen, remember that not all darkness comes from curses or spells. Sometimes it hides in ordinary work, accepted traditions, and questions no one wants to ask. Sit back, relax, and let the story guide you. This is part 5.
Story 5. The Wandmaker's apprentice, Eliza Crane, had been apprenticed to Master Wandmaker Aldrich Thornwood for 6 months when she first learned the terrible truth about wand cores. The shop was in Diagon Alley, not as famous as Ollivander's, but well-respected, known for quality craftsmanship and ones that often lasted their owners' entire lives. Master Thornwood was elderly, perhaps 120 years old, with fingers knurled from decades of delicate work, but still steady and precise. Eliza had been thrilled to get the apprenticeship. Wand-making was a respected profession, combining artistry with deep magical understanding. Only a few apprentices were taken each generation, and the waiting list was years long. Eliza had studied magical theory, wood properties, and the history of wand lore for her entire time at Hogwarts, preparing for this opportunity. The first months had been mundane learning to select and prepare woods, understanding the properties of different materials, studying the subtle ways that wand design affected magical channeling. Master Thornwood was a patient teacher, thorough and exacting but never cruel, but he never let Eliza handle the cause. "That comes later," he would say whenever she asked. First master the wood, master the form. The core is the heart of the wand, and you must be ready before you touch a heart. Finally, on a cold November evening, Master Thornwood told her it was time. "You've learnt well, Eliza. Your woodwork is excellent, better than mine was at your age, if I'm honest. You're ready to learn about cause." He led her to a room at the back of the shop that Eliza had never been permitted to enter. It was secured with multiple locks and charms, protection wards that made her skin prickle as they passed through. Inside was a workshop unlike anything Eliza had seen, clinical, almost surgical in its precision, with tools that looked more medical than magical. And in the center of the room, floating in stasis fields, were creatures. Living creatures. A phoenix, its plumage dulled, its eyes aware but resigned. A unicorn foal, too young to be away from its mother, trembling slightly in its magical suspension. Tethestrul, that invisible creature only visible to those who'd witnessed death, somehow held in a state where Eliza could see it, despite never having seen anyone die. "What is this?" Eliza whispered, horrified. Master Thornwood's expression was difficult to read, sadness, perhaps mixed with resignation. "This is the truth of wand-making that no one speaks of publicly." "Where do you think wand cores come from, Eliza?" I thought. "Phoenix feathers are given freely. Unicorn hair is collected from their manes. Dragon heartstrings come from dragons that have died naturally. No, Master Thornwood interrupted gently. Those are the lies we tell, the comfortable stories that let witches and wizards use their wands without guilt. But think, Eliza, think about the power in a wand, about what it takes to channel magic as efficiently as a wand does. Do you really think a naturally shed hair or a molted feather would have that kind of potency? Eliza felt sick, but Ollivanders does the same thing we do. Every wandmaker does. Some are more ethical about it than others, but the fundamental truth remains. A powerful wand core requires material from a living magical creature, and obtaining that material causes suffering. Master Thornwood moved to the phoenix, running his hand along the edge of its stasis field. This phoenix has been with me for 40 years. I take one tail feather every 5 years, no more. I keep him comfortable, safe, as well treated as possible, given his confinement. But he is confined, Eliza. He is trapped here, unable to fly, unable to live the life a phoenix should live. This is monstrous, Eliza said. Is it? Master Thornwood asked. Consider the alternative. Wild harvesting wandmakers traveling to find wild phoenixes, wild unicorns, wild fectrons, and taking from them without protection or limitation before the current system. Magical creature populations were being decimated. The regulation keeping approved specimens, taking only what's needed, ensuring the creature's survival. This is actually the more humane approach. That doesn't make it right. No, Master Thornwood agreed. It doesn't. But it is necessary. Without wands, most witches and wizards can barely perform magic. Wands are essential to our society, to our way of life, and wands require cause. So we have a choice, he continued. Either accept this necessary cruelty or abandon wands entirely and watch magical civilization collapse. Eliza wanted to argue, to find some solution he hadn't considered, some way to have powerful wands without causing suffering. But she was intelligent enough to recognize that if there were an easy answer, someone would have found it in the thousands of years of wand-making history. "Why are you showing me this?" she asked quietly. "Because every wand-maker must know what they're doing, must make the choice consciously with full understanding of the cost. Some apprentices, when they reach this point, choose to leave. Others stay, accepting the burden of this knowledge. What did you choose?" "I stayed," Master Thornwood said. And Eliza stood in that room, surrounded by captive magical creatures, knowing that whatever she chose next would define the rest of her life.
And that was tonight's story. Some truths don't arrive with screams or spells. They arrive quietly, leaving you to decide what kind of person you will be once you know them. In the wizarding world, as in our own progress, often begins with uncomfortable questions. Thank you for listening to Whispers from the Wizarding World. If you enjoyed this dark fantasy book story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the series to continue the journey. Until the next tale. Sleep well and keep listening.